Nickelodeon and catch a picture show. Maybe I'll go down to the 5 and Dime store, head down to the pharmacy and get a 5-cent Cherokee Navy. Give me a 20. It's the price of being lame. Yeah, but just because my parents named me Abraham doesn't mean that they were religious or anything. You know, they just knew that I was destined for greatness. And yes, my middle name is Lincoln. Yeah, no, but that doesn't mean I'm into politics. It's just a joke my father wrote right on my birth certificate. But no, I'm not into politics. I know there was an election in November, but I have absolutely no idea what it was about. Some guy asked me if I was going to vote no on number 2. I was like, that is a natural bodily function. Yeah. So people tend to assume that I'm not really close with my parents. It's not true at all. I call them all the time. My dad usually doesn't answer, but that's nothing personal. He just gets high and forgets what a phone is. My mom and I used to talk to each other every single day, though, but I haven't actually spoken to her recently. She did something last winter that kind of upset me. She died. Yeah, I know. I'm sitting right next to her, too. It was rude. So we don't really talk anymore. But my sister still speaks to her. She's got issues, though. No, I'm serious. Like, she sits and talks to pictures, gets in fights with them. It's fucked up. She calls me up the other day. She goes, "Aby, I'm so mad at Mom right now. I've been yelling at her for hours, and she won't yell back." Yeah, she's still dead. I get it, and it's enough already. Yeah, what do you do with that? She's seriously mad that our mom's ghost hasn't visited her. True story. Speaking of ghosts, my apartment is haunted. Yeah, I keep waking up and finding all my stuff rearranged, but I think the ghost was an interior decorator because it's always better than it was before. Yeah, I was getting pissed at first, but this ghost has some serious feng shui. Like, everything just flows now. My landlord came by the other day to fix something. He thought he was in the wrong apartment. He thought I had a girlfriend move in because everything was so nice. I'm like, no, she doesn't exist. It's just me and the ghost. It's getting kind of out of hand though because it figured out how to use my computer and started ordering new furniture and shit from IKEA. Yeah, I came home from work the other day and there's a brand new couch in my living room and "You're welcome" smeared in blood on the wall. I don't even know whose blood it was, but I'm scared to move out because I'll never have a place this nice again. You know, unless I kill another interior decorator. So I got a brother too. We're not twins, but we look almost identical, which sucks because he's really ugly. But it's funny how much we look alike because when his wife gave birth recently, I was actually escorted into the maternity ward because they thought I was him. Yeah, and when the nurse opened the door to see my brother, who looks exactly like me, standing there holding his newborn son, who in turn looks exactly like us, she just like blew a gasket. Like, I watched the entire fabric of her reality just unravel. Yeah, and without missing a beat, my brother turns to me and says, "Cloning operation complete." So I lost a bunch of weight recently. Thank you for noticing. But it was hard to do. It's a really hard thing to do to lose weight, especially when you're like me and you know absolutely nothing about fitness. Like a friend of mine told me that I should try CrossFit. I thought he was inviting me to church. I'm like, no thanks, you know, Hanukkah's coming up, I'm busy. CrossFit sounds so religious. Like, am I going to have to accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and personal trainer? Which might not be a bad idea, actually, because he was looking pretty fit up on that cross. Seen those abs? Yeah, cross training. Thanks a lot. I'm Abraham Kless. Everybody.